100 years ago, a boy was born in Jaro, Iloilo. He went on to touch the lives of millions of his fellow Filipinos. That child was Eugenio H. Lopez, founder of a clan, builder of an empire. A century later, the group of companies he founded stands stronger than ever. But Don Eugenio always valued his family and his principles more than wealth. He felt that no amount of profit was worth the sacrifice of principle. It is a lesson that he passed on to each of his children, Henny, Oscar, Presi, Manolo, and Robbie. The next generation of Lopezes is now making their own marks, and like their parents before them, they are imbibing the legacy of Don Eugenio. For them, their grandfather's words and principles will always remain a steady guide. A century later, his vision still rings true. Don Eugenio's prominent place in Philippine business and industry is undeniable. From sugar milling to publishing one of the first post-war newspapers in the country. From land, sea, and air transportation to pioneering what is now ABS-CBN, the leading broadcast network in the country and the most admired media network in the whole of Asia. Don Eugenio capped his achievements with the daring purchase of Meralco, then and now the largest electricity distribution company in the country. In all his endeavors, Don Eugenio's words and deeds spoke eloquently of a business philosophy way ahead of its time.
A commercial firm which could hardly make both ends meet, but which gives service and real satisfaction to the community is, in our estimation, more successful than a multi-million corporation which reaps huge profits and then keeps them to itself, completely neglecting the community which sustains its life.
Don Eugenio's idea of profit was revolutionary. In 1956, he said,
"We sincerely believe that a greater proportion of earnings accrued from business should be returned to the people, whether this be in the form of foundations, grants, scholarships, hospitals, or any other form of social welfare benefits."
Don Eugenio was a fighter who feared no one. He welcomed any fight that came his way. Fighting for the freedom of the press was a crusade he waged again and again. Wary of compromises, he waged unflinching war against corruption in government and abuse of power. His greatest battle would be his last.
Drive away from our midst the big scoundrels in the government who are devouring our country and reducing its people to poverty and misery.
That was 1971, before President Marcos declared martial law. In 1972, Don Eugenio was forced into exile. His eldest son, Eugenio Lopez Jr., was held hostage by the government. The fight with Marcos would ask from him the greatest sacrifice.
The Meralco sale was a giveaway to save the life of my son. The sacrifice of material things is easier to take than the sacrifice of the human spirit.
It is said that no other family lost as much as the Lopezes did with the declaration of martial law. But by giving up all, Don Eugenio showed us what was essential. More than the desire to win, much more than wealth. Most important was family unity through all adversity. Don Eugenio died without seeing the return of his son and his country to freedom. But his legacy of spirit gave his family the strength and vision to build again. Living up to this legacy today, The Lopez Group of companies is one of the largest conglomerates in the Philippines. In a little more than a decade, it has regained all that had been lost. It is now several times bigger than what it was before martial law. But its reasons for being remain. The values that Don Eugenio Lopez Sr. espoused in these words were the same values that he passed on to his children and grandchildren. A commitment to public service that extends to every Filipino wherever he may be. Fervent nationalism, concern for labor, dedication to the ideal of a free and fearless press, and detachment from material possessions. In this spirit, Don Eugenio lives on.